Yeah, another thing to add in, though, I guess, would be the trickle-down effect of money from the Premier League, the kickbacks, parachute payments and support to all of the other clubs. I think there was a report that one championship side are paying about 200% on staff wages, including players. That won't be sustainable if they don't have those parachute payments. And the Premier League will not be in as strong a position if they were to lose the clubs, because allegedly there is a part of the clause in the contract is you're not allowed to take part in other competitions which aren't officially sanctioned by the Premier League. This doesn't include the League Cup or the FA Cup or the Champions League, but a European Super League does not fit into that category. It's not a recognised competition.
You've also got grassroots football, Adam, as well.
Exactly.
You know, at kids level, where obviously the Premier League at the moment guarantees X amount of money to grassroots football. If all those teams leave and they take their money with them, and it's, you know, then what happens? Because suddenly you're talking about, you know, millions of kids are going to lose out on facilities, on coaching, on all those types of things, because these teams walk away, unless the European Super League is going to pay that to them. I'm not convinced they will do, because suddenly is that going to be beneficial? Because that deal's in place now. Once you start the premise of rewriting the rule book and starting from scratch, I think it's a dangerous situation, a dangerous path to go down, because those clubs have total control. And we've seen it with the Premier League. You know, the FA sold its soul to the Premier League at the time, because they were desperate for money, thought they were doing the right thing, and they thought it was going to help football out in this country. And it probably hasn't had the effect that they wanted, because the Premier League has been magnificent and has been a global product, but it hasn't necessarily helped out everybody else in football.
Okay.
And that's another problem that you run the risk of.
I just need a brief answer about this, because I've been to many Premier League games. I've been in cities like Norwich, where you started your career, Danny. I've been to places like Newcastle and Huddersfield, cities and towns that aren't London or Manchester or Liverpool, and I see how much it means to the fans and what it does for the tourism industry when you have a Manchester United going to St James's Park or Carrow Road, wherever it might be, or an Arsenal or Liverpool. Imagine if that is not available. I mean, was that a big part of your childhood growing up, JMO? Because you didn't start at one of the big six clubs at all. You were at Watford. No, all due respect, of course.
They've been in the Premier League next season. Don't worry about that, Adam.
But not a big six.
So actually, everybody else, Portsmouth and everybody else been in the Premier League.
Yeah, but I mean, as I say to you, I can't say ambivalence. It's a difficult argument at the moment, because, as I say, there is so much heritage in the Football League. And what you're talking about, Danny, with the split to the Premier League, that was part of the evolution. And the reason I was very careful in what I said, it's not about finding something that suits all parties, because someone has to suffer with change. That's just the nature of life. Someone is going to suffer. If there is enough parties satisfied with I'll use it in the context of this debate, with a Super League, then football will continue and people will grow and develop, and the industry hopefully will grow and develop. There will always be losers, that side of it. With regards to me coming up at Watford, I just love playing football. I was one of the first to play, in fact, the first live game in the Premier League against Nottingham Forest for Liverpool. And I just took it, I'm playing for Liverpool in a game of football. I didn't look at the Premier League as anything super special. The fact that it changed from Division 1, it just meant that I could play football, happened to be live on TV. And I think a lot of people, and one of the problems I've been having with the discourse at the moment, everyone is generalised with the same opinion. No footballer will sign for money, no fan will do this, no fan, some will, some won't. Whatever the actual numbers work out to, or the percentages, will define whether or not, assuming something happens, it becomes a success, and who wins and who fails. Because one of the things that really bothers me is when people say a player wouldn't sign for more money. Well, we were last week talking about De Bruyne going in without an agent to sign a contract using stats. He didn't sign for what Man City wanted to give him initially, I'm sure. He signed after what he negotiated. So it's only a negotiating tool. And even with a Super League proposing to, I think, double the sort of money or the revenue, there is a limit to what they can afford. And within time, that Super League will outspend itself and they will have to create something else. So even if it's just, I'm laughing how can I say? surprise more than joking, because, as I say, there's a lot of emotion going on at the moment and little facts, which is very frustrating.